What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Game On Improve Your Health podcast. Today's podcast episode journey is being guided by none other than your host, Austin J, or hallucinodream, if you know him from the gaming community. And the topic tonight is a follow-up and question and answer to last week's episode, which was on gym lingos and misconceptions. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the episode. Thanks for tuning in. This episode is going to be incredibly short. I'm not going to lie. As you can see, I am solo queuing this episode. So it's going to be a little more boring than normal. I didn't actually, and not I, we, as a team here at One Punch, we didn't actually receive any questions on this episode. So, excuse me, that's a little upsetting. So, if people have any, those who are listening, if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to us. We would love to answer them. We want the more questions that come in, the better. We want to be able to help everybody, anybody who has questions about anything that you hear, regardless of what episode, even if it's one of the early episodes that we've done. Now, I want to apologize for the quality. We're in a different, I'm in the temporary room here. I'm not sure if it's echoing. I moved the microphone again, so we'll see exactly how it sounds. But so since we didn't get any questions, I am going to just talk briefly about some of the important things I want to go over. And I know I've gone over quite a bit of this in previous episodes, but I feel like it's important to go over and retouch on often, just so people know, how important it is. First thing I want to say is in regards to the lingo that we've gone over, and again, if you have any questions, we're going to make some YouTube videos, but if you have any questions on anything you heard, I think we went over reps, sets, supersets, circuits. I'm not sure if we went over any other lingo, and then we went over some misconceptions in regards to, like what happens when you, the weight scale and stuff, what happens when you start lifting, and, about gaining weight, which, you can go back and listen to that, but it's muscle weighs more than fat, so... But if you have any questions on anything you heard, by all means ask us. If you have any questions on some lingo before we even post the videos, any month that has 5 weeks in it, which October is one of them, we're going to do the fifth week will always be just a fun chat type episode. So coming up at the end of October, which should be next week after this episode is posted, we can go over anything that we might have missed again as well. So that's the plan for those fifth week episodes as well. Just have fun with those. So one thing I want to say is the lingo is very important. So if you are starting to go to the gym, especially, I know how intimidating it is. Okay, so we're going to backtrack a little bit. When I first started going to the gym, I first of all, before it stuck, and I think I've said this a couple times before it stuck and I stuck with the routine, I was very hesitant to go often because I would go in there thinking, I know I need to work on my chest, let's say, right? I need to do some chest exercises. The younger me also, I didn't really care to research very much, right? I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do the research. That was just me. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but I didn't really want to do the research to figure it out. So I kind of just looked around and learned on what other people were doing. The only thing I really knew how to do was the bench press, and then there was some machines that you can use, and even the form on the machines can be wrong. So that will drive intimidation, right? So I'll go in and be like, okay, I'm going to go do the bench press. I do the bench press, and then that's about it. Like, I think to myself, what do I do? What do I do from here, right? And then I could ask some people, even the younger me, we'll just go to the high school days. Like, I went to the gym a couple different times, and the routine never stuck. But, I could go to some friends and stuff, and they could I remember being explained to some of the workouts, some of the stuff they were saying. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't understand. But I didn't say that to them, right? I kind of was just like, oh, yeah, okay. You can't do that, right? If you're confused, no one's ever going to try to explain a workout to you after you asked. And then if you ask more questions, be like, oh, well, I didn't understand what that term was. What does that mean? No one's going to look at you and be like, I'm not telling you that. Or they're not going to judge you for that, right? So you just got to, put that wall down a little bit and ask for help. I can't even stress how important that is. Especially if you're going to a gym, let's say you want to go to a larger type gym and they have personal trainers walking around the floor. don't be intimidated to ask those personal trainers any questions. They are there to ask you or to answer questions that you have. They want to help you, right? They want you to have a good, pleasant time at the gym and be able to hit your goals, even if they're not your personal trainer, even if you're not paying them for sessions. They want you to succeed. They want you to be, to stay in the gym and come back. That's what they want. Again, regardless if they are being paid by you or not, right? So don't hesitate to ask those personal trainers. Generally, you can pick them out because they're wearing the uniform, or the shirt at least, right? There's typically not uniforms for gyms, but they're wearing a logoed shirt of some kind. Ask them questions. Say, hey, I need to work on my back, right? Or, I want to fix my posture. What could I do to be able to do that, even if just today? What kind of workouts could I do today? And they will be inclined to help you, right? And if you have any question on the lingo they're saying, again, make sure you ask questions inside of questions. So I can't even stress how important that is, to be able to ask questions and just to put your wall down a little bit and not be afraid to ask questions. That is just so paramount to success, not only in your fitness, but in life in general. In life in general, the most important thing you can do is ask questions, because that will gather more information for you. You'll learn more, and you'll be able to do more things on your own, and you'll feel more comfortable doing those things. So I definitely wanted to stress that point. I didn't know the wife wasn't really going to join me on this episode. So this is all. The past couple of weeks have been pretty crazy. I'm not even going to go into details, but they've been pretty crazy. So just being comfortable to get into a routine and lingo. And on top of that, I do want to say, in regards to questions as well, if you hear something along the lines of, if somebody says the only way for you to burn body fat is to do, hours of cardio a day, that's the only way. You gotta question that. First of all, that's wrong. But if you don't know that's wrong, and somebody says that to you, don't take it for what it is, right? If somebody says, just do full body workouts every single day, every single day for an hour straight, right? You got to question some of those things. So just to make it easy, we'll go on the cardio one. If somebody says you need to do cardio, that's the only thing. Not true. And if you don't know it's not true, and you want to know why, or you want to know why, ask them why. If they can't answer, go do a little bit of research on it. I asked this person for advice. They told me to do cardio every single day. It's the best way and the only way to burn body fat, which is my goal. But I want to see how true that is and what kind of cardio I need to do, right? Quote unquote. If you can't see me on the podcast platforms. So do some research. Go on to Google, one of the most powerful tools you can use, and just search. You can even search some kind of terms like best way to burn body fat. Stuff like that. They'll give you a bunch of stuff. A lot of times you'll find the information you're looking for. It will debunk that and say that cardio isn't the best way to do it. It's not as efficient as resistance training. And then that's when, which is lifting weights, and that's when, you'll get into the, I need to, or I should go to the gym, or I want to go to the gym. I want to do some resistance training, and then that's when you can start asking questions. So make sure you don't take everything that people say with a grain of salt until you confirm it with somebody, a professional in the field, like a personal trainer, that it's actually accurate, right? Because you don't want to. One of the things that happens as well is people do get intimidated and they don't ask questions, and they don't do. I could tell you firsthand, this happened to me, and they don't do research on the topic, and then they put all this time into something and they're not seeing any progress, right? So you're putting all this time into cardio and you're not seeing any weight loss, right? And you're just like, well, why? Or you see weight loss and then you plateau very quickly. Why is that happening? Why? I'm doing and I'm increasing my time by a lot every week now, and I'm still not seeing any progress. That is a severe motivation killer. And it's just at that point, after you plateau and you're not making any progress and you continue, it's not an efficient use of your time. So make sure that you This really goes hand in hand with asking questions. Make sure you just confirm the information, right? Asking questions or just Googling it. You can find all this information on Google. But a certified professional would really be your best bet, because then they can, then you know the information. Even online is a little sketchy, but even then you know the information is accurate that they're giving you, hopefully, from that person, right? Obviously, there are very rare exceptions, but generally you're going to get accurate information from that certified professional. So, what else could I talk about? What else did we talk about? We talked about misconceptions. I'm trying to think. I know there was other misconceptions that go on. One thing I did want to talk about, I don't think I talked about it. I'm not sure if this is classified as a misconception, but I do have to. I see this all the time. I'm sure a lot of other people see this. I just have to get it off my chest. If you are walking on an inclined treadmill, please, this could be a misconception. Do not hold on to the top of the treadmill as it's on an incline, because that literally defeats the whole purpose of it being on an incline. You might as well just walk on it at a regular flat incline, or not incline, whatever it's called, just flat, right? Because when you're holding on to it, you're taking away all the effects that you get from it being, actually technically walking uphill, right? If you walk uphill and let's say you're walking up a hill and you're holding on to, I don't know if you've ever done, or anybody's ever done this, but if you're going up a very steep hill and there's a rope to assist you, it's going to be a lot easier, right? A lot easier to use that rope to get up the hill than it would be trying to climb the hill itself, right? So you're doing the same exact thing. Really, you're not getting the benefits of the incline on the treadmill, because now you're holding on, you're compensating, you're using your upper body. You're basically making your body level with the treadmill, or whatever the term is. Not parallel. It's the other one. Whatever the and realistically, what it's doing is just making you walk on flat ground, and it just you're walking on flat ground, technically on an inclined treadmill. So I want to say there's no benefit to that, there's very, 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 very little benefit to that. It's not very efficient. So don't do that. I just want to say that. I have to get it off my chest. Unless you're doing it just because you enjoy doing it. If you're doing it because you enjoy doing it, and that's how you enjoy walking on the treadmill, then that's fine, right? But don't you do it if you're trying to get your heart rate elevated, or if you're trying to get your body used to walking up hills, right? Because that's not going to help. So I did want to say that in the last episode. I totally forgot to say that. That's one of the things. That's one of the problems with doing these episodes so late at night, I would say, is that if I don't write stuff down, or I think of it on the spot and I want to say it, I tend to forget. And that happens. So again, this episode is going to be pretty short. I don't want to drag it out and bore people, but there was just a couple things. If there's any misconceptions or anything that you've been told and you have questions on, by all means, let us know. Let us know in the comments. Reach out to us on social media. We would love to answer those, especially next week. Is going to be, and I'll check the date here, it's going to be just a chatting episode, right? We're just going to have fun with it. We're going to talk. We're going to go over anything that has come in, questions, comments. And that will be next week, looks like the 29th of October, which is the 5th of Wednesday. So I am going to wrap this episode up. I know it was pretty short, which is fine, right? Nobody wants to see just me. They want to see me and the wife and Christina here and blah, blah, blah. So if you have any questions, let us know. You can follow us on social media if you're watching live here on Twitch and YouTube. All of the links are here on your left. And if you're listening on the podcast platform, everything will be in the description of this episode. So again, thank you for listening and joining me here. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Oh, the next episode, is the 29th. I'm sure I just said that, but the 29th of October, 9 p.m. Eastern, Twitch and YouTube. Hopefully we see you guys there.